2 hours later.
Weapons. Weapons. Weapons was just released this past weekend and was written and directed by Zach Kreger and stars Julia Garner and Josh Brolin and follows when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly 2:17 a.m. A community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. So I knew once Warner Bros. Put out teaser footage of those kids running out of their homes in the middle of the night doing the Naruto run, and the fact that Zach Kreger was going to direct this film, I was on board right away with it. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Barbarian, I thought I was still entertained by it. But luckily in Weapons, there's no inbred mother the size of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breastfeeding Justin Long. But speaking of Barbarian, the marketing for that film really fooled me, and I really went into that one thinking it was going to be the greatest and scariest horror film of all time. But when it came to Weapons, I knew exactly what I was getting in for, and I knew to manage my expectations. And even if it does go sideways or takes a weird route, I can't be surprised because I kind of saw it coming. And honestly, I think this film is so much better than Barbarian, and I had a good time with it. First things first, this film is very original, unpredictable, and something I did not expect at all. The way the structure of the story progressed as we're following different perspectives of all these characters. And speaking of the characters, they're all great, well acted. Julia Gardner is really good here as his teacher, who basically has a lot of pressure on herself because all the parents in the community point fingers right at her. And just her character alone, it's very tragic because you see everything. I think she's portrayed here as the main character, but like I said, all the parents are pointing fingers at her. She lives alone. She has a drinking problem, as you can clearly see from the film. So those who watched my previous video talking about the hype surrounding this film, the hype here with this one was exactly the same for Barbarian. When you go online reading what critics and IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, what people are saying about this film, they're hyping it up to be like the scariest and most you have to see horror film of the year. Even though I think this film is more of a thriller than horror. But in the previous video I made talking about Weapons, I was reading up about things of people comparing this film to Pulp Fiction. I didn't believe it either until after I watched Weapons and noticed how the structure of the story progressed. By the end of the film, you're following these characters and their different perspectives, which I did not expect at all. You're spending time with the teacher. You're spending time with one of the fathers of these kids. And Josh Brolin does a good job here as his dad who's worried about his son Matthew. And I feel like I would care more about that dad if his son wasn't such a dick. Because when you watch the movie, everything you see involving his son, and we're supposed to care about this character and the dad, but everything we see with this Matthew character, he just comes off as a straight bully. I was like, do I want this kid to be found? I'm not entirely sure. The way the prosthetics and practical effects on these people's faces, if they're practical, I mean, if they're CGI, they did a really good job, especially for Benedict Wong's character as the school principal for this school. There's a really if you saw the trailer, you see a shot of his face in a corner store, and yeah, we find out what happens and how his face got like that. And that scene was pretty fucked up. A lot of creepy imagery. The movie's very eerie and disturbing at times. There's a scene that takes place in the middle of the night where Julia Garner's character is sleeping on a car, and then the shot's focused on this house, and you see something coming out of the house and creeping by the car. That was a really standout moment in the film. You see the trailer, you see that stupid little kid making that stupid little face, in which we find out is a dream sequence once you watch the full movie. But the film does a really good job. Zach Kreger does a really good job at crafting these scares, but also making you feel aware that these scares are taking place in a dream. So it basically opens the door for him to basically do whatever he wants. And us as an audience know that scares are coming and that it's a dream. And then it doesn't feel like a cop-out. It doesn't feel like the scare is false. And I found that craftsmanship in those particular sequences heavily effective. And I gotta say, I was hooked the entire time. And once we find out the secrets and what's actually happening behind this mystery with all these kids and why they got up in the middle of the night, and my guess originally was aliens. Yeah, I mean, why else would they be making that stupid ass Naruto run in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and it not be something supernatural or alien-like? But once we find out what's actually happening, I was like, oh shit, this is pretty creepy. And then we have that sequence in the basement where one of the parents is looking for their kids in this house in the basement, and there's a freaking jump scare that got me out of my seat, like, oh shit. We spend some time with this character who's played by Austin Abrams, which I didn't expect to be this hilarious. He plays his... You can clearly see that he needs help and that he's addicted to drugs. But this character provided a lot of comedic relief. There was an actor that showed up who I didn't expect to be in this film. Although I did... It was in the back of my head the entire time I was watching the movie. I was like, you know what? He was in the last Zach Kreger film. Maybe he'll come out in this one. And he's an actor I'm a huge fan of. So seeing him on screen again I was like, I like that guy. He's a cool guy. Amy Mannequin is her name. Yeah. She's creepy as hell in this, and she's really good. And I don't think she's ever had a performance like this in her entire career. I think she was in like Field of Dreams and movies like that weren't horror or thriller at all. Is this a movie that you should go out into the theaters to see? Absolutely. The theater I was in was pretty packed, and the crowd reactions in the row behind me were pretty funny at times. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun experience, a fun theater experience for sure. So if you're wondering if you should go to the movies to check this film out, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. The movie's wild, unpredictable, very original. We do need more movies like this. I can't wait to see Zach Kreger's next film. But I think now is a good time to inform you that I have friends of all different kinds of races, ethnicities. I am not a racist person at all. I love people of all different colors and the way they live life and shit. I'm cool with all of it. No problems at all. But the people behind me, I'm not exaggerating. This is exactly how they sounded. Oh, hell no. Nah. Why are you sleeping in your car like that? Nah, these kids got me fucked up. No, for real. On some real shit, bro. On some real shit. Nah, if that kid came up on me, I'll beat his ass for real. Best theater experience ever. And then someone in front of me was smoking a vape. Thank you guys as always for watching my videos. I appreciate every last one of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what movies y'all want me to check out next here on the channel. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.